Francis O'Keefe here for Go Guitar Lessons. Today I'm going to show you a technique that is actually pretty difficult to master, but is key if you're going to be playing any funk or any blues. Actually, in fact, if you've tried to learn any of SRV's stuff, you'll probably come across this technique. And this technique is being able to have one note come clear and have all 5 other strings muted. Okay. So have all other 5 strings muted while that one note is clear. If you learned something like Cold Shot, you'll run across that technique. Even Pride and Joy has it. Certain funk songs will have it. Okay, and that really helps to give you that gritty sound of the note along with muted strings. So I've always had a difficult time teaching this over the years, so I'm going to do my best in the video to break it down. We have to look at a control technique, okay? A bunch of control techniques. So let's imagine that we're going to be hitting this string here. We're not going to imagine, we're going to hit it. So the D string, 5th fret with our index finger. So what do we have to do here? We can hit that one note and not worry about the rest of the strings, but everything is open. Step number 1 that I want you to do is I want you to make your index finger lazy. So it's going to just drop a bit, okay? And it's going to get in the way intentionally of the other strings. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to test them. We're going to make sure that this note that we want to be clear is clear. And then we're going to test the rest of them to make sure that they're muted and not fretted. We don't want them fretted and we don't want them open. We want to make sure that they're muted. You might end up with some slight harmonics, as you can hear right now. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Okay, so that's good for the notes or the strings that are below this. What about the ones that are above it? Well, this is what we do. We have to bring our thumb in to control the low E string. Okay. While we're also maintaining the note and controlling the other 3 strings below the D string. Now we're left with the A string open. And if we want to control that, we have to bring in another finger. Okay. There's a few options that we can do here. I know a few players do this differently. We can also make sure that the fingertip from the index finger touches the A string at the same time as it frets the note and covers the rest of the strings. And that would be taking care of 5 strings at once. This technique with the fingertip hitting a string above it is actually crucial for a lot of guitar playing. It's crucial for chords. It's crucial for other notes where you have to make sure the string above doesn't ring out. And in this technique, we can use it as well. Okay, so and then our thumb would get the low E string. So now we have everything covered, and we want to make sure that that guy comes out really nice and clean. The best way that I find that happens is by being aggressive with the right hand. So I attack that one string pretty aggressively, and I try to attack in that area more aggressively than I would attack the other strings that we don't want. Although we do want to hear those strings, because that's part of the technique, is to be able to have that free hand. So once you're confident that you have all the strings muted, there's 2 things that you're going to do. You're going to try work on the free hand, which is basically a strumming. Imagine you're strumming an acoustic guitar and just going all out. Okay. Step number 2 is to try a different finger and still control. As soon as we use the ring finger, I went from 5 to 7 on the D string. Once we use the ring finger, we have to change our technique a little bit. Okay, we alter it. we bring in the middle finger to cover the A string and a couple of the other strings. I still get my ring finger to be lazy, but it's actually not covering the high E string. The middle finger is actually going to come in and it's going to cover the rest of the strings for me. Okay. So test out the technique, climb up a scale. I mean, do it from the D string. And then do it backwards, and then see how well you are controlling all of the strings. The second thing that you want to do to really make the note pop out is give it a slight vibrato like SRV does. Okay. That'll make it rise above and pop against the muted strings. We can do the same thing with more than one note at a time. We can do it with two, which is actually a great sound. It gives you a nice dynamic to have that. Something else that I'm doing is I'm also killing the notes, okay, that are clear. As soon as I hit them, I slightly raise up the pressure off my finger to cut the note. I don't take it off, but I just raise it so that the note is dead and my finger's still touching it. So this really depends if you want the note cut or not. You might not want the note cut. Maybe you want to still use that muting technique, but have the notes ring out. So that's going to depend on what you want and what you're playing. So test this out in a couple areas on the neck. It's not going to be easy. I want you to try it in as many different situations as you can. Like I said, try it on a scale. Try it with a forward, I guess rake is what's happening. Try it with a backward one too as well. Try it with a blues riff that you know. Or really anything else. So, was this video helpful to you? I hope so. Do you have any other techniques that you are using right now that are similar to this? Or do you think you can explain it in a better way? Let me know. I'm interested to hear what you have to say.